Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. We're just waiting for a few more. We waited for a few people, but I guess today we're going to have a small group. That's good too. More time to network. Then this event will be recorded for those who missed the chance to be here. Welcome to Women in Podcasting Powered Networking event for podcasters. My name is Francy. I am originally from Puerto Rico and I live in Kansas. I am the host of Life with Francy podcast, a safe place to have conversations about mental health, self-love, self-care, trauma, and more. You can find it in all major platforms. And thank you so much for being here. I am excited to network with all of you. You will get a chance to introduce yourself and your podcast or expertise shortly. If you haven't done so already, join us over in the Women in Podcasting Facebook community. And she also has a LinkedIn community, and you can find those at womeninpodcasting.group. For tips on starting or monetizing your podcast, check out the Women in Podcasting show. And by using the link womeninpodcasting.net. You can put your information. I already put the links on the chat. So that's one way to be communicating with each other. And then when I download the video, audio, and the chat, I will put it too. So like if you miss something, you can go back, and we have a Google Drive that I have to add to on the chat, so you can put your information in as well, just in case we lose whatever. Then if you like more information about VIP perks and becoming a member of the Women in Podcasting Network, you have to visit www.womeninpodcasting.net. Last but not least, if you like help with monetizing your podcast, join us in the Elevating You Mastermind. You can get right now, as a bonus, you will get a one-on-one with Jennifer Henczel using my link, womeninpodcasting.net/Francy. So let's get the show started. And we're going to start with Jody. Hi, Jody. How you doing?
Gotta unmute myself. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. So do you have a podcast or a podcast guest?
I do have a podcast. I'm also a podcast guest often because I do find that's actually a really good way to mention my own podcast. So it works both ways. I am a voice actor. I've been doing that full time for about 15 years now. And I decided around 3 years ago that I was going to make a podcast about how important sound is. So my podcast is called Audio Branding, and I talk about advertising, marketing, science, technology, film, public speaking, podcasting, anything to do with sound, and how it influences what we buy on a regular basis, definitely, but also our daily lives. It's everywhere, and we really don't give it the due that it deserves. So, yeah, a lot of different topics. I do have guests, typically people who work in the area of sound on a regular basis on behalf of clients. So, that's usually the type of guest that I'm looking for. And I can speak on voiceovers or the power of sound or podcasting. I've done that a few times. How to be a business owner and an introvert, because that is also me. How outsourcing has saved my life. And a few other topics like that. And I have a media page that I can provide if people need it. But that's me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. And that sounds so interesting. And your voice is just so calm. Like it brings a calmness to it.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. Now let's go to Sue. Are you a podcast guest or a podcast?
Yeah, actually, I thought I would go to the last one because I'm new. So I thought, let me hear everyone and I'll be the last one.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Kelly, it's your turn.
Yeah, I love this forum because I feel like I could practice here too, like the elevator pitch. So bear with me. Sue, actually, I was really interested too in like, do you do like the sound healing part too? That goes like sound is all around us, and I'm wondering like if there's like a healing impact too to it.
Oh, yeah, you said
Talking
Sue. I
about.
think you mean, do you mean me?
Oh, no, sorry, Jody.
Okay,
Jody.
yeah.
Mhm.
I have actually done a interview with someone who does ASMR. So I've also talked with people about binaural beats and getting rid of the white noise in digital sound.
Mhm.
So there's all sorts of really interesting ways to discuss sound. I've talked with an audiologist who works with children, actually.
Oh,
So, like I said, all sorts of stuff. And I do solo episodes as well. So I do both interviews and solo podcasts.
cool. Very cool. Thanks. Okay, so do I have 1 minute or two?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Just tell us
Okay, I'm
about
gonna
yourself.
practice this.
Do you have a podcast or are you a podcast guest?
Yeah, I have a podcast and I am interested in podcast guests, but lately my priority has really been on my coaching programs. So I haven't really been focused on the podcast. However, the content is conducive to what I'm trying to relay through my program and trying to share and trying to facilitate empowerment in. So it's all related because yeah, fundamentally, like it doesn't matter what medium we use, right? It's a similar value we bring to the table. Yeah. So I'll just stick with the, the short one. So we all know that health and relationships are key areas of wealth and abundance. Yes or yes? So how do we ensure that these key areas of wealth can remain in tip-top health? Hi, I'm Kelly Borowski, and I have good news for you. As a result of my coaching program, women entrepreneurs are able to learn how to find more time in their day, they're able to learn to reclaim control of their schedule, to break free from reactive mode, and to learn how to heal their relationships. I'm looking for women entrepreneurs who are seeking relief from the chaos and the overwhelm of the go, go, go schedules, and to get organized, to get their life organized again so that they can find time for them again. Who do you know? Let me know who you know. Thank you.
I love it. That was so sweet. You did so good.
Thank you.
All righty, Sue. Now we're moving to you.
Okay. I'm really excited to be over here. Podcasting is a new career for me. I just started this year. My first season, I was totally solo. And my podcast is New Beginning Inspiration for You All. And I have been solopreneur whole my life, and I always saw what challenges solopreneur faces. So I just wanted to provide resources, especially free resources by every possible means. So I was blogging and my blog was getting really good views, but then people started saying, we don't have time to read your blog. Your blog is really good. Why don't you start podcasting? So I just started podcasting without even thinking anything because I thought, okay, people need it. I'll start doing it. And I started really fast and ugly, you can say so. And then I realized that I have to be professional. I have to polish it. So I took a break and then I polished it, and it is not perfect. But now my second season, I said, okay, I have to add value to other people's life. I alone cannot do everything because I cannot touch each and every topic. I cannot help every area. So I'm getting guests on my podcast. So I can be guest on other people's podcasts, but my main focus is getting guest on my podcast, and it is going on really good. Means, for example, this Monday, I have like a 5 podcasts scheduled in one day, and my family thinks I'm crazy. But means basically, yeah, I can do it because I'm going on vacation for 3 weeks. So I want to batch record and then I want to publish, because my schedule is 2 episodes per week, and it has been going on good. And if you are helping community in any way, you are welcome to come on my podcast. Means anyway, because my audience is solopreneur mainly, because I create digital products, mainly the resources for solopreneurs. But hey, means basically everybody needs everything. So I have been getting messages from other people also. Initially, I thought only solopreneurs are my audience, but nowadays I'm getting messages from everyone. So yeah, so if you have a story of struggle and success, and if you can inspire the audience, if you can add value to anyone's life, you are welcome on my podcast and share it. And I'll make sure that you will get the visibility after coming my podcast, because I publish it everywhere on the podcast channel. I create a YouTube episode, I publish on YouTube. Then I create a vlog and publish it on my blog. And I publish everywhere in the social media. So I just make sure that someone who comes on my podcast, they get exposure, they shine. And means basically my role is only to make them shine, because they are there as my guest. And according to our religion, guest is like a god. You should really treat that guest as with respect. So means that is how my podcast is designed, and I really appreciate to
Awesome.
be over here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I love it, ladies. Well, today we had a small group, and usually after everybody introduces their podcast, we just start networking. And one of the questions that I like to ask is, what are you celebrating this week or this year for the podcast or in your personal life?
Well, today is my daughter's birthday, so we just went out for lunch. So this is my birth week for my daughter. So I'm just actually celebrating. And this weekend, we have a special event, actually now in-person event at the convention center. The event is dedicated for creating peace on this earth. And I'm creating one new e-course about imposter syndrome and creating more confidence, because I personally went through that like 30 years back. So I just want people, because many times people don't even come and tell you. So, but e-course, basically they can just buy and they can learn on their own. They don't need to expose it to other people. So the event is about the world peace. So I'm going and volunteering over there. So that is a celebration. Thank you.
Awesome. How about you, Kelly or Jody?
Sue, where are you located? Where are you?
I'm in Bay Area, California.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Oh, not too
Where
far.
are you?
I'm in San Diego,
Oh,
California.
okay.
As well. Yeah.
Oh, my daughter loves San Diego.
Yeah. I was just in
I
the
love
Bay
San
Area with
Diego.
some friends. Yeah, it's fun in Palo Alto. Good area. Yes. So yeah, celebrating. I
Yeah,
celebrate with
celebration.
every day. Yeah. Today I went to coffee with a friend. I hadn't seen her in a couple months, and that was a lot of fun because she's really goofy. So always nice to have some social time with some friends.
That's awesome. How about you, Jody?
Well, I haven't really seen anyone today except my husband. However, I did, my podcast was nominated for an award.
Oh,
Um,
congratulations.
yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens, but it's called the SOVAS Award, so it's the Society of Voice Acting Academy.
Oh, that is
Something like that.
amazing. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
really
it's like it's the Oscar for voice
Ooh.
actors, basically. That's like
Wow,
what
that's
our,
incredible.
but I mean, it's
Wow,
not a
I
real
can say no.
Oscar.
I made a
It's not
celebrity
a real
today.
Oscar.
I made a celebrity today.
We
Wow.
get it.
Yeah.
We get what you're trying to
What type of
say.
voice acting?
It's the equivalent.
You
Maybe.
do like voice acting for cartoons, like animation then, right?
No, I'm
Or-
actually,
oh,
I do mostly advertising and corporate narration and online stuff like that. So that's kind of why my podcast came from that, because it isn't really about animation, video games, audiobooks. It's not the, the stuff that you would normally think of when you think about voice acting. It's more the advertising marketing end end of things. And so that's kind of where my focus is. I want to make sure that I understand what my clients need from me and what I'm contributing to with my voice. So that's why this whole podcast even started in the first place. But yeah, the SOVAS award is it's not an Oscar, but it's like the voice acting equivalent. Like it's their big awards. We have a big award show at the end of the year, and the SOVAS it's SOVAS.org if you want to check it out. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of really interesting things going on there, and some big names that you might actually recognize.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned like for advertising, I think they could use more sound effects in the ads, right? Like to really grab people's attention. I mean, they use music and like you just tune it out, it's just music sometimes. But like if they did like pops and like weird sounds that are people don't expect, then that could really grab their attention, because no one wants to watch advertisements, right?
No, but I mean, Sue had a really good point in that people wanted to hear her blogs rather than read them. So there's a lot of that going on right now. We are much more easily able to hear as opposed to read, because reading takes your whole attention. You can't not be paying attention. If you're reading, you're not going to get any of it. And yet when you listen, you can let it be a background noise, right?
Yeah.
But when you're talking about advertising and marketing and using sound for that, it's a lot more than just the music. It's a lot more than sound effects. And it should be very personal to each company. So each company has a reason of why they're doing what they do and who they are and who they want people. Exactly. Hopefully, right? You know, they're all different. Like, think of it like this. If you're listening to Alexa or Google Home or whatever, and you want to buy something, and there are 5 different cans of beans that you can order from, well, who are you going to order from? You're going to order from someone who, because you're not seeing anything, you're going to order from someone who has a unique brand and a unique brand sound. So, but it should be, it's not just a sound you make up out of the ether and just decide, oh, this is going to be our sound. No, you have to really think about it. That's what audio branding is all about. So it's a big umbrella under which there's a bunch of stuff. So the voice that you choose, the music that you choose, the sound effects that you use, your sonic logo, which is made up of what your brand is. So you need to sort of sit down with someone who knows how to come up with this stuff and make it unique to you, because otherwise it's not going to stick, you know.
It has to match your persona and
exactly,
the vibe you want to give.
But it's not just who you are, it's also who you want to attract, right? So you have to think of both you and who you're trying to reach. And it's kind of a melding of those two, but it's very archetypal. Like, people are going into the archetypes. What kind of a brand are you? You know,
don't we usually want to attract people that are like us? So then
it's sometimes it depends on what the brand is.
If we love ourselves enough.
One would hope. I mean, it depends on what the brand is selling, right? What the company is doing. There's going to be a difference between Apple and United Airlines, right? Like they're completely different companies that need completely different sound because they do completely different things and they appeal to different people at different times. So you need to be very specific, but it's a big thing. It's not just sound effects. It's not just music. It's a lot of different things that go into that.
That's neat.
Wow, I love that. Another question that I like asking, do we like to read, and what are we reading right now?
I usually like to read, but I haven't been. I just picked up the old book. It's about some time machine, but it's an old one. My husband he is an avid reader on the Kindle, but he recently started going back to books again. I'm just proud of that guy.
How about you, Sue?
I used to read a lot, especially anything with the positive mindset and spirituality. But as Jody said, means basically now I have really switched on to listening, because I'm actually member of many spiritual organizations, so I get lots of spiritual talks. And I start my day with listening to all those spiritual talks, and especially when I feel really down or I feel that my attitude is really sinking and it's not so good, I really plug into some positive talks or spiritual talks, so that means basically I feel better, I feel lifted, and then I can add value to other people's lives. Because if I'm myself, if I'm miserable, how can I help somebody else?
Yeah, YouTube's great for those. I source YouTube for all those spiritual.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
YouTube University is for everything.
right.
Oh, how about you, Jody?
Well, I tend to read nonfiction as opposed to fiction these days. I used to be like big into science fiction fantasy when I was younger, but I haven't had time to concentrate really all that much. And nonfiction books are easy to pick up and put down. So I have been reading Talking to Strangers by Malcolm Gladwell, which is a really interesting book about how we are more similar than we are dissimilar. I think in a lot of ways, it's
Yeah.
a way that it's a book that seems to sort of help you open up to learning new experiences and experiencing new things. So yeah, I kind of, I mean, I'm only just really at the beginning of it, to be honest. So I'm getting into it, but little by little. An actual
We
book.
want to hear about you also, Francelin. Yeah, tell
Yeah.
about you.
Or what are you reading, Francie?
Yeah, well, I was gonna say a small shout out to a podcast guest, but I've been reading Better Off Bald, and she wrote the story of her sister as she was fighting with stage 4 liver cancer. And let me tell you, oh my gosh, it's sad because she lost her sister to this disease, but the story, the strength between both sisters on how to handle the situation. And she shares not only her sister's side through the journals, she shares the medical side as well. So that's different to give people resources and things like that. And the author is Andrea Wilson Woods. I had her on my podcast and she's amazing.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you. Do anybody want to share something, a tip or advice or anything for somebody starting?
Let's help each other, means basically. So, yeah, though my calendar is totally booked right now, but I can always accommodate more people. So, yeah, if you can add value to my audience, you are welcome to come on my podcast.
Yeah,
Just
if
help
you
each
share
other
some
out.
links. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll put the link. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could put the links in the chat. I forgot to look for the Google Drive, but did you guys find me off of like just internet posts, or are you guys part of the Women in Podcasting community?
I'm part of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm part of it
it.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I make the post, I will put the Google Drive under because I couldn't find it in the chat in my part. Sorry for that.
It's okay. I have a PDF that I could upload here that is for how to sound your best as a podcast guest.
Oh, wow,
Oh,
that's
nice.
nice.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
I have a blog about that actually. I should share the blog as well, but I'll give you guys the PDF so you don't need to download it. I have a newsletter. It's kind of one of my lead magnets, I guess you'd call it. So I
Yeah.
have a newsletter where I let people know about the new podcasts on a weekly basis. But let me just find that.
And I was going to mention earlier too, like Sue said about batch recording, I have started doing that as well. And
Mm-hmm.
like for the month of September, I recorded 17 interviews covering me till December. So
Wow.
I only had to record 1 or 2 solo episodes because I have a combination of both solo guest, solo podcast, and then guest podcast episodes. And now I'm about to start uh, looking for guests again, so I can cover my podcast from January to March. So
Nice.
that's another 15 to 20 interviews that I have to record before the year ends while working 12 hours every day.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's insane. I will say one tip that I'm going to give people is that I do hour-long interviews and then I split them into two. So
Okay.
I have a part one and a part two of each of my interviews. So they're about 30 minutes a piece, which means that instead of having one interview for 1 week, it's one interview for 2 weeks, which gives me a little bit more buffer. So I'm going on a trip like at the end of December and I'm going to be back in the beginning of February. So I'm
Oh,
not doing
wow.
anything. I'm not
All
doing
right.
it.
Where are you
Yeah.
going?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Where
I'm
are
going
you?
all over.
All
I'm
right.
basically
Enjoy. Have
from
fun.
yeah, I'm in the Toronto, Canada area. So I'm going from Toronto to friends in Athens, Alabama, to Atlanta, and then to Florida. And then we're coming back. So it's like a big trip, and I don't want to worry about my podcast or having to produce it or get it online or whatever. And I have a producer, I have an audio editor who helps me out. And so we're programmed all the way, like at this point, I am programmed to February 8th.
Wow, that's
They're all
awesome.
out there waiting to drop once a week.
Yeah. Let's
Wow.
take a pause from networking to see who Dr. N, I'm sorry, the Gridpreneur. Hello. So this is a networking event and we shared. So do you have a podcast or a podcast guest? Let's get to know you. You're on mute.
Sorry about that. I
There
actually
you
have
go.
a podcast.
Okay, tell us
And
about it.
yeah, so my podcast is called, can you hear me okay? Because I can barely hear
Yeah,
myself.
yeah.
Oh, okay, my volume was down. So my podcast is called Woman of Grits. It's on pretty much all platforms. And it's a bi-weekly podcast because that's just about as much as I can do, give myself some time. The format is I alternate where I pick a topic and I talk about the topic, and then I also have interview a woman who has overcome some adversity, and she shares some of the resources she used, and yeah, so just shares with the audience. So that's the way I do mine. Brand new, just started, so episode 9.
Yay, awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That's great.
You
We
know,
also,
you are not brand new because I heard many podcasters stop after the 8th episode. So you are 9. That means you are pro.
Yeah,
You're
I'm looking
sticking
forward to
with
the
it.
second season. Yeah, absolutely. I think, and the only reason why is because since it's bi-weekly, I coordinated with when I get paid at work. So I know if I'm getting a paycheck, I should be uploading an episode. So yes.
I love that.
Mhm.
So we also asked like a celebration that you have for this week or this year.
Well, I mean, I think for me, the celebration is that I actually launched it.
Yeah.
I'd been on the
Yeah.
fence for a really long time. And literally, I just completely threw all conventional wisdom out the window. They said, okay, have about 5 episodes and everything. I woke up one Saturday morning, I recorded the trailer and 1 episode, and I launched it. I said, it's out there now, I'm on the hook. So for me, actually launching it and not quitting so far has been, a big win for me. So yes.
Yes, congratulations. And it sounded like me because I thought about having a podcast for 2 years. And then one day I was like, you know what? I'm starting. But it was December 28th of last year. And I actually thought, let me wait 3 more days till the new year starts. I was like, oh my God, that is like the lamest excuse to not start your podcast. So I did the same thing. I recorded a trailer, I recorded a couple episodes, and I just put it out there.
Yeah.
So congrats, that's a huge
Thank
achievement this
you.
year. So yeah, now we're just like networking with each other and just asking for like tips for somebody that is brand new, but I guess just start will be one good tip.
For me, it's kind of putting everything together, just the formatting, the process. You know, I'm on Anchor, first of all. And the reason I chose Anchor was because I could get my music there. I didn't have to go to too many places, and I didn't have to worry about, you know, copyright and things like that. So, I mean, I just chose Anchor. I looked at Buzzsprout. So then putting it all together, I obviously don't have a sponsor right now. So I'm actually my own sponsor. So when I take a break in the middle, I just, I have t-shirts that go with my business. So with, you know, my whole brand. And so I advertise, I'm my own advertiser. So I think it's just putting everything together. I feel like I struggle a little bit with that, even though I still put it out. I just feel like it's not as smooth as it could be.
And let me tell you, it won't be for a few months at least, or maybe a
It
year
takes
or
time.
so. It takes time to
You know, you listen to any of our early episodes, I'm sure you'll hear the need
we all go
for
back and it's like, oh man, oh, did I say that? Oh, the audio was horrible.
yeah. Well, I included in the chat a link to the podcast that I did of that PDF that I also included there.
Okay. Awesome.
So well, I hope that it'll help allow you to experiment with the sound of your podcast to sound better, and, you know, maybe explain a bit about things like echo cancellation and the difference between a dynamic and a condenser mic, and, you know, just treating your environment, just little things like this that, like, I deal with every day as a voice actor, but it doesn't, like, I don't realize how many people don't know this. So yeah, it's stuff that it hopefully will be helpful.
Thank you.
That's the booth, by the way. I'm outside the booth.
Nice. I love that.
I like your slides, how they're so clean and crisp, like Apple products. Simple and clean.
Well, ladies, I had a wonderful time with you guys. Any last thoughts?
I just have one quick question for everybody. So when you do your interviews, I typically do Zoom when I have a guest. And so I am starting to upload. I've done one episode so far with a guest on YouTube. How are you guys handling that? What do you use when you're interviewing a guest?
I have a membership with Riverside, but I haven't started using it yet.
Yeah.
I'm still comfortable with Zoom, and Zoom is working out really good. So Zoom actually gives you audio and video files. So what I do, I upload my audio into my podcast. Actually, there is a video podcast also. I haven't started it yet. I tried to upload, but somehow it rejected. Spotify kept on rejecting. So I said, forget it. I don't have time right now. So then video part I upload on YouTube. The same episode goes on YouTube. Then I create a vlog. In my vlog, actually, I give the background about the speaker and their story and their freebie and everything. Then I give the links for my podcast channels and also YouTube channel. So whoever is going on my blog, they can either listen to my podcast guest and or watch on YouTube. And then that vlog I publish everywhere on the social media. So actually, it sounds like a lot of work, and it is a lot of work, but it is really rewarding because not everyone is using every area of the, for example, people who listen to podcasts may not go to YouTube and watch it. So means basically you don't have to worry whether people are getting repeated information. It's not. Because when I publish it on my Instagram, actually I get lots of responses from there, and those people never go on my podcast and listen to it. So it is working out good.
Yeah.
Say
19.
TikTok. Do not sleep on TikTok, because I just did a 12-day thing on TikTok where I just did the 12 universal laws and I mentioned my podcast. And I am telling you, I went from like 100 downloads to like 200 in like the
Oh,
first 12
good.
days of November. People
Wow.
from TikTok just, are going over and doing that. So yeah, that's
Nice.
my
That's very
win.
good. Very good.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Thank
awesome.
you.
I have heard of Zencaster live stream, but I personally use Zoom because it's like the easiest for me, and it hasn't been a problem. And then I don't have a video podcast, but I do separate. So the audio goes for Anchor. I use Anchor as well. And then YouTube. I've been uploading YouTube. I wanted to start a YouTube channel a long time ago, but I didn't know where to go with it. And I had posted some audiograms, that is podcast episodes, just a picture and then the audio. And then I have stopped, but since my interviews are recorded, then I just upload my interviews on YouTube. And that has been pretty good. I have some there with like 15 views, and I'm like, oh my goodness, am I
All
going viral?
But I think YouTube just did something big recently. Before, to get your unique handle, you had to have 100 subscribers or something like that. Now everybody gets that. So
Yeah.
I just went ahead and updated my website, my social media with my new handle. You get to choose. You get to pick your handle.
It's all based
Yeah,
on
that was awesome too.
evolution. If we are cavemen and we're sitting around.
Kelly, you may not
I'm
want
so
to have
sorry.
your. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, you're more than welcome to listen to it because I know where you were, but yeah.
You know what? Yeah, sorry about that. So YouTube, I've had trouble actually uploading large files. Like there's a limit. Have you guys run into that?
I think that they're getting better with that. YouTube, as like you're talking about YouTube, as far as like uploading your podcast.
Interviews, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't really found that as far as my podcast is concerned, because like I make it into an MP4 and just use a static image most of the time. And my podcasts are only 30 minutes or 40 minutes at most, right? So, but there are, I mean, Joe Rogan was doing it for 4 hours. So like, yeah, it shouldn't be a problem.
It's only 45 minutes.
It shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem.
Computer or something, because I upload now from my phone. I download the interview to my phone and then upload to YouTube, and I haven't had a problem.
It was a Zoom recording upload. Yeah, I'll try it again. Yeah, it was airing on the size though, I thought, but I'll have to try again. It's been a couple months. Yeah.
That's strange, because that shouldn't be happening.
Good to know that you guys don't have a problem, then I shouldn't either.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
I'm actually using Riverside for my interviews.
I was gonna ask if anybody was doing that.
Yeah, and I also record the video at this point now too, but I'm not releasing the whole podcast as a video. What I'm doing is I'm using a minute for like YouTube shorts. So I'm putting together like a minute of a little golden nugget that the guest made while we were talking. And I put that as like a teaser at the beginning of my episodes. So I use that for now a videogram, I guess you'd call it, for social media. And then also as a YouTube short. And then I take a little bit, like maybe 3 to 5 minutes of something, some bit in the podcast that I thought would be really good for people to hear. And I use that video portion to put it on YouTube as a separate thing. We call them sonic snippets. And then I just upload the YouTube, like the MP4 with a static image as per usual, as I was before. And I do each part like that. So there's like 3 different things I need to upload to YouTube every time I do a podcast times 2.
So you have a producer do that for you, for someone else?
Well, yeah, I maybe I could, but I'm pretty picky about it. So it'd be hard to train someone to do it the way that I do it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Maybe if I did a Loom video or something like that, I could instruct someone, but yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
you
I do have
already
a
outsourced.
channel. Sorry?
You already outsourced some of the tasks.
Yes,
So
I
if
definitely
there's
do.
something that you feel attached to, then
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
okay.
And if you
'Cause I'm
enjoy
so
doing
glad
it,
that
you can enjoy the editing.
yeah, and that it's another thing. If you enjoy it, I know I got my virtual assistant, and I just can't wait to have more money so I can outsource more things.
Yeah,
I'm like the
that
queen
is
of
one thing.
outsourcing right now.
That is one thing that I actually wouldn't mind outsourcing, but it's hard to get someone else to do my YouTube uploading because they need my password and my login. And that is also the login that's my email and a whole bunch of other things. So I feel a little less comfortable with that.
Hey, if
Yeah.
you when you get comfortable, whatever, I can share my virtual assistant with you because
Sure.
she's amazing, and she wants my birth certificate and social security number. I'll give it to her
Wow.
too. She's
Okay. Okay.
amazing.
Someone to trust.
Yeah,
That's good.
she's
That's good.
taking care of my social media, YouTube. Now I'm gonna start a Patreon,
Mhm.
and she's gonna be taking care of that. And I really do share her with the world if they need her,
Sure.
because she just does such an amazing job, not just for me, but the other clients that I have gotten together
Oh,
with her.
I need one too because I really because I tried Fiverr and Freelancer. Some are really good and some are really bad. It is so much of hit or miss, means basically, it is many times it is total time waster. So I really want someone who is really good and someone is coming out of recommendation.
Yeah. I will look for you on Facebook and then do a group chat with her, because she is like under, she's just a little bit under of what everybody charges, but she overvalues. So like I feel bad charging her for what I mean, paying her what I pay her. I was like, in January, you're getting a raise. So
Does she edit TikTok videos? Does she do
does
that?
it all.
Mhm.
She does it all. She has different packages. But so yeah, if I do forget, which I won't, look for me on Facebook, which is easy because you just put Francy I, or even the network event, and it will come up on Women in Podcasting because I'm always there.
What is her name?
No, I won't do that because we're gonna share this on YouTube and all the social media. So that's
Yeah.
why I
Okay,
haven't said her name or
I
anything
would love
like
her
that.
information in private.
Okay. Just
Yes.
I will
chat,
give
yeah.
you information in private. I
Okay.
don't want everybody to reach out
Okay.
to her.
No, perfectly fine. Yeah.
Then she'll get a raise for sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was such a pleasure to meeting you, ladies. A quick
Likewise.
reminder, if you haven't done so yet, join us over at Women in Podcasting Facebook community. She also has a community in LinkedIn, and you can find that on womeninpodcasting.group. For tips on growing and monetizing your podcast, check out womeninpodcasting.show. And then if you like help with monetizing your podcast, join us at the Elevating Mastermind. And you can get in right now. And as a bonus, you will get a one-on-one with Jennifer Henczel using womeninpodcasting.net/Francy.
I
So
couldn't
hope
find her on
everybody has a
LinkedIn.
blessed night.
I was looking for her on LinkedIn. I couldn't find her. I found her page on LinkedIn, but not her group on LinkedIn.
Okay, I'll make sure that you have that as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I found her page. I messaged her on LinkedIn. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I will share that information with you as well. Well,
Thank
thank you, ladies, so much. I really had a pleasure meeting you, and as well as getting to know you more as we talk about my virtual assistant. Anyway,
Likewise.
have a
That's
blessed
good meeting
night.
everyone.
Thanks,
That's a good one.
everyone.
Yeah, good
Take
luck with it.
care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.